Welcome everybody to Severe Weather Update. Today is Tuesday, May the 21st, and I'm doing a quick update due to a moderate risk 3 out of 5 in the Iowa and adjacent areas for this afternoon and evening, including a pretty significant tornado risk. So let's get right to it. As you can see, the day one convective outlook shows the red shaded area as the moderate threat. That includes some large cities in Iowa, a population of almost 4 million people, including Des Moines and Cedar Rapids, Iowa. So that is a pretty large population area to be covered by this threat. Also, the enhanced threat goes further out from that and includes much, much larger population centers, including 23 million of population, including the cities of Chicago, Illinois, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Kansas City, Missouri, Omaha, Nebraska, and Lincoln, Nebraska. So if you live in any of these areas, even the enhanced threat, be on the lookout for strong damaging winds, hail, and potentially tornadoes. But the tornado threat is probably confined to very northern parts of Missouri, very northwestern portions of Illinois, southwestern portions of Wisconsin, very, very south portions of Minnesota, and then most of Iowa. Let's look closer at the tornado threat, and you can see it's 15% on the national map. Let's look at a closer map from the Storm Prediction Center showing the probability of a tornado within 25 miles of a point, and it's 15 to 29% in the red shaded areas. The hatched areas mean those tornadoes could be EF2 to EF5 in strength. So anywhere in the yellow shaded, the hatched yellow shaded area, but especially in the red shaded area, you need to have a tornado plan in place because there have been a history of damaging severe tornadoes in the last month or so. And so the atmosphere is ripe, and wherever the Storm Prediction Center is saying the atmosphere is going to be extremely volatile, you want to be ready because this has been a dangerous and deadly tornado season. Looking at this map again, we've listed a lot of these cities, but Lamoni, Ottawa, Iowa City, Cedar Rapids, Waterloo, Decorah, Mason City, Fort Dodge, Carroll, Atlantic, and then of course Cedar Rapids, Des Moines, and Iowa City, Ames, Davenport. These are some of the cities with the highest risk of damaging tornadoes this afternoon. When will this happen? Well, first of all, I did also find this other key messages chart from the Storm Prediction Center. You can see those same cities listed on there with that red hatch line says most favorable for strong tornadoes. And you can see it does extend beyond Iowa. So if you're in any of these cities listed on this map, maybe pause this video, look on this map, and see if you're in any of these cities in that red dashed area. Make sure you have a tornado plan in place. Let's now go to the HRRR model for radar, which is a projection of when and what the radar will look like this afternoon. And we're going to start out at 18Z, which is 1 p.m. Central Daylight Time. At that time, you can see some strong supercells beginning to form in eastern portions of Nebraska and beginning to move into the Iowa area. So I think this is when the threat will really begin, and we will move this 1 hour at a time, starting at 1 p.m. Central Daylight Time. 2 p.m., you can see the storms really firing up in western Iowa. 3 p.m., 4 p.m., 5 p.m., it starts to consolidate into a quasi-linear convective line, which means the tornado threat will start to decrease around 5 p.m. Central Daylight Time, according to this model. That doesn't mean there won't be tornadoes. It's just that the discrete supercells have a much higher likelihood of creating a very strong tornado, while some of the tornadoes on quasi-linear convective lines are a little weaker because there just will be breaks in the line that will create some circulation, but they can't create their own separate superstorm, which is favorable for less strong tornadoes. Anyway, we go now to 23Z. 23Z is 6 p.m. Central Daylight Time. 7 p.m., as you can see, it begins to move into the Wisconsin and starting to exit the Iowa area, moving into Wisconsin and Illinois. 8 p.m., 9 p.m., obviously Wisconsin, it looks like this is going to be pretty bad around 9 p.m. But again, the tornado threat will be less. It's more of a straight line wind threat. 10 p.m., moving toward the Chicago, Illinois area, and all throughout parts of Wisconsin. So I think by that time, the discrete tornado threat will be over in Iowa, of course, but you can still see some supercells firing up in Illinois. So I think the threat in Illinois may extend later into the evening and closer to midnight. So if you're in that area, although the tornado threat, you're no longer in that moderate threat or in that 15% tornado threat, there is still going to be some severe storms. And a lot of times on these outlooks, we only focus on where the threat is greatest, and at the very end of the night, the storms move out of that area and still create some tornadoes outside of that area. So if you're in this anywhere in this vicinity, keep an eye out for tornado watches being issued for your area all the way through midnight tonight and even later, especially east of Iowa. But Iowa's threat is going to start from about 1 p.m. probably till about 6 p.m. for the tornado threat to be the strongest. All right, that's all I have for today. Please like this video if you can and subscribe if you haven't. Share this with anybody that you know that's in this area that may not know about the severe weather threat today. And thanks for tuning in, and stay safe, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.